He just, ugh! I'm getting myself worked up now. I didn't expect this to be an angry video. Hey everyone, my name is Melody and thank you for clicking on this video. So we're back with another round of armchair internet GMing, and this time, instead of entertaining ideas of Jack Eichel trades, I asked you guys to send me in your best Rasmus Ristolainen trade offers. I brought along my remarkably fake Rasmus Ristolainen jersey. I got it back during the tank for Connor McDavid year. We didn't have many good players at the time, so obviously I wasn't going to spend $200 on a jersey of an AHL player, and Rasmus Ristolainen was probably our best player at the time, so I thought I'd give it a shot. It's very bad. I don't think my camera's doing justice how bad that fake jersey is, but it's all I got of Risto. So I wanted to do this video because, like when I asked you guys to send me in Jack Eichel trade offers, I was just genuinely curious. I wanted to know what other teams' fans across the league thought of certain players. And obviously I knew with Jack Eichel, I was pretty sure that no one was really going to send in an offer that kind of matched his value in my mind. So with Ristolainen, I thought it'd be interesting in the same kind of way, but like the opposite. I kind of assumed that people would be sending me offers that were unfair from their own team's perspective. The thing with Rasmus Ristolainen is he should be a lot better than he is. Like, people see him, he's a 6'4" right shot defenseman. He's at that age where he should be kind of hitting his prime right about now. And relatively for a defensive defenseman, he puts up pretty good numbers. So on the surface, he seems appealing, but when you actually watch him, he's just frustrating. So I was very interested to hear the opinions of people who maybe haven't watched Rasmus Ristolainen 82 times a year for like, what, 5-6 years now? Even in Buffalo, like Rasmus Ristolainen, there are people that absolutely love him that would never want the Sabres to trade him, and there are people who wish he was traded like 5 years ago. For me, I think we have to move on from him. It'll be very, very tough, and I don't think he's going, like, I don't think he's actually going to get traded this year with, you know, the flat cap, and his contract is not great, and I don't think there will be a market for him. So at this point, you kind of got to just keep him around. Like, if you're not going to get a decent return for him, which I don't think you will, he's under contract, you might as well just hope that something clicks in his brain and he can turn it around. For me, I feel like if he was like making $3 million a year, playing on the third pair, and if he was drafted in like the third round, I think people wouldn't dislike him so much, because I kind of think that's where his range should be. But he was a first round pick, he was the 8th overall pick, making $5.5 million a year, averaging like 24 minutes a night. Like, that's insane. He's not that. And if he went to a team that could actually utilize him properly, I think he could end up being effective. And who knows, like he's probably gonna go get traded and win the Norris or something. That's kind of what happens to us, right? So thank you to everyone who sent in offers. I couldn't get to everybody. Also, since I've been getting a lot of comments and pretty good responses from these videos that I'm putting out, I was thinking about kind of doing like a whole series based on crazy trade ideas and stuff like that. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, make sure you subscribe, click the bell notification button, so when I send out these posts, they come up in your feed. I'm thinking about making possibly a weekly series where I ask you guys to send in crazy trade proposals, and then we'll go through, see what you guys think, who says no, at least for as long as the off season goes on. So, but anyway, let's get into it. Canes receive Risto, Sabres receive free Bojangles for life. You guys know, you offer me food, I'm taking that all day long. I would make a terrible general manager. I'd just sell all my players off for food. Rangers receive Rasmus Ristolainen, and the Sabres receive Jesper Fast and Alexander Georgiev. Yes, please. Fast, I believe he's a free agent this year, right? And then Georgiev, that sounds great. To Buffalo, Anthony Mantha. Yes, please. To Detroit, Rasmus Ristolainen and a conditional first. If Buffalo misses the playoffs, the pick moves to the following year. Detroit could use another player for their blue line, and Buffalo needs another winger for Eichel. Yes, we do. Mantha is an incredible winger if he doesn't fight and injure his hand. He could easily pot 30 to 35 goals. The first round pick is insurance for Detroit, so it doesn't completely backfire. I mean, hey, listen, if you're offering that, I think that's a no-brainer for the Sabres. I've always loved Anthony Mantha, and I think we could use all the forward help we can get. And I think it's probably about time that we start not hoarding all these picks, because, I mean, what good have draft picks really ever done for us other than like picks 1 and pick 2. Outside of the top 2 picks, we can't really get it right. So yeah, that'd be a yes please for me. Buffalo gets Matt Murray, Pittsburgh gets Risto. So that's actually interesting, Matt Murray, because like what, his name has kind of been in trade rumors for the past few weeks, and it was crazy that Buffalo's name was on that list for teams interested in Matt Murray, because I don't think the Sabres really need him, because he's gonna have like a decent cap hit, I would imagine. And I think the Sabres, like, I think Linus Ullmark's a good enough goalie. If the team didn't suck so bad in front of him, like, Linus would be fine in that. But yeah, it was crazy that the Sabres seem to be kind of in on the Matt Murray rumors. I think they kind of said now that they're not, but I couldn't see why the Sabres would want to go after Matt Murray, but yeah, they've done crazier things. To Ottawa, Ristolainen in a 2024. To Buffalo, the Islanders' first-round pick in 2020, Christian Jaros, and a third-round pick in 2020. Yeah, sounds great. Anything that could get a first-round pick is a yes. Like, I don't think Rasmus is worth the first-round pick. Like, a second might kind of be more his range. But the fact that we could, like, get rid of him, get a first-round pick, and be free of that $5.5-ish million cap hit would be... sounds great. Sabres acquire Ehlers and Jets acquire Ristolainen and a 2021 third. So it looks like this offer was made before I even posted my NHL 20 video, where I ended up trading Risto in a second for Ehlers. And so that's interesting that that's in there. I even said in the video that I know that Risto and a second would not be nearly enough for Ehlers. So I don't think Risto and a third would be enough either. I'm sure the Jets could use help on D. But I'm pretty sure they're going after second-line centers more, which aren't we all? Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much more it would cost outside of, like, Risto plus for Ehlers. I don't know if the Jets would want to go after him. There were always rumors that it was either the beginning of the season or something that Botterill wouldn't pull the trigger on Risto for Ehlers. And I think that's a mistake, but Botterill made a lot of mistakes. Just send him back to Turku, Finland. My TPS team needs him. You got it, dude. To Ottawa, Ristolainen. To Buffalo, Melnick. That's pretty funny. You can't get rid of Melnick that easily. We already have bad owners. We don't want more. Ristolainen for Ricard Raquel. Anaheim needs right-handed defenseman, and Buffalo could use a winger or two. I would love that. Like, if we could ever get, like, a 40-50 point guy for Risto at a cheaper cap hit, like, you do that all day long. And I think, too, like, if we're gonna make a trade, we kind of got to pick on teams that need right-handed defenseman like that. So yeah, I mean, sounds good. I do that. Oh, three-way trades hurt my brain. Let's see. Islanders receive Montreal's first-round pick in 2020, Joel Armia and Colin Miller. Ooh. Sabres receive Max Domi, Bodie Wild, and a third-round pick from the Islanders in 2022. And the Canadians receive Rasmus Ristolainen, Johan Larsson, Johnny Boychuk, and a fourth from Buffalo. Wow. That's a lot going on there. So we're getting Max Domi, Bodie Wild in the third, and all we're really giving up is Ristolainen, Johan Larsson, Colin Miller, and a fourth. I mean, I'd take Max Domi. I love these three-way trade ideas. You guys always put so much effort into them, but they always make my head hurt. Forget about the fact that both teams are in the same division. I'm just curious about your opinion. From Montreal, Max Domi, Brett Kulak, and a second. To Montreal, Ristolainen. Also, always fun watching your videos, and keep up the good work. Thank you, Vincent. I will accept this trade so fast, you don't even understand. So, scrolling through here, I've seen a lot of Habs fans offer up Max Domi, which is really interesting. Like, his name is in trade rumors, but Habs fans are gonna kind of have to let me know why, like why they think Max Domi might be on his way out. I think that's way too much coming from Montreal, so I'll take that, absolutely. To Chicago, Henry Jokiharju. To Buffalo, Alex Nylander. To buyout, Rasmus Ristolainen. You Blackhawks fans are never getting Jokiharju back. We are allowed to win one trade in our lifetime. To Toronto, Rasmus Ristolainen and a third in 2020. To Buffalo, Sandin or Liljegren, a first in 2020, and conditional first in 2021 if the Leafs get past the first round. So wow, basically like what? A decent D prospect and 2 firsts? I mean, that condition of the Leafs getting past the first round might be tough, but sorry, Leafs fans. I had to. I had a lot of offers in here from Toronto, and I'm always really interested because I know all you hear about is how badly Toronto needs that right shot defenseman. I didn't think Leafs fans even liked Ristolainen because him and Kadri had like a weird little thing back in the day. So yeah, that is an immediate yes. We save cap room and we get possibly 2 firsts, like immediate yes. Panthers get Ristolainen, Sabres get Matheson, a second, and a sixth. Now I don't know much about Matheson, but I do know that he is married to former Buffalo Buttes captain, Team USA hockey defenseman, and Buffalo native Emily Falzer, so I bet that would make her pretty happy. Not even counting Matheson, like if we could trade Risto for a second and a sixth, sounds good to me. The first team I think about when I think of teams needing to upgrade their defense is the Winnipeg Jets, whom have a surplus of good young forwards. TSN's trade bait board lists Ehlers and Laine as potential candidates to be traded. I think Ehlers makes more sense. Better skater, signed long-term at a good contract. Laine is an RFA next season. For a 25-goal, 60-point guy who's only 24 years old, I imagine the cost is likely high. Maybe. To the Sabres, Nikolai Ehlers and Jack Roslovic. To the Jets, Ristolainen, Montour, and the 8th overall pick. Ooh, okay. Might be an overpayment, but I think it checks the boxes of both teams. Jets add depth on the blue line and a top 10 pick in what could be one of the deepest drafts in recent history. The Sabres add a first-line forward who could play with Eichel and a middle six winger. While giving away the 8th overall pick is tough, I think the top priority right now is keeping Eichel happy and winning now. So that is a phenomenal offer. Like, that makes a ton of sense. Like, that's actually something worth thinking about here. I think the Sabres do want to trade both Ristolainen and Brandon Montour because I think their cap hits are going to be higher than, you know, what they're actually worth. Like, maybe if it was like a 2021 first round pick, that would probably make the Sabres more willing to pull the trigger if that was kind of the option. And the only reason I say that is because, like you said, the 8th overall pick this year it's in a pretty deep draft. And I don't know if you saw the news, but there was those rumors that the Sabres were considering like a $71 million internal cap, which is $10 million below what the cap limit's going to be. So I think it would be really tough giving up this year's pick, because I think at 8 you're probably going to get a player that's probably not far from contributing on an entry-level contract. And if we're going to be $10 million below the salary cap, we're probably going to really have to rely on guys on their entry-level contracts. So I really like this offer though. Like I already said, I love Nikolai Ehlers, and I would love it if the Sabres could find a way to swing a trade for him. But yeah, I like that a lot. Pittsburgh gets Risto and a 1937 7th rounder. Buffalo gets that ghost that knocked Risto over. That was a great hit by that ghost. I mean, Risto didn't even see it coming. I like that, that's funny. Sabres receive Nick Holden and John Merrill. Golden Knights receive Ristolainen, M. Martin, oh, that's me, and a 2025 7th round pick. Here's the thing with that, I would not be a good fit with the Vegas Golden Knights. They have way too much success. Like, my brand is pretty much like singing sad songs about loser hockey, and the Golden Knights don't really experience a whole lot of losing comparatively. Obviously, they haven't won the cup yet, but they've come pretty darn close for an expansion team 3 years old, so yeah, I don't think I'd be a good fit in Vegas, but I appreciate trying to get me out of here. Rasmus Ristolainen for Lawrence Pilot's hopes and dreams. In all seriousness, like, can you believe that they just let Lawrence Pilot just bolt to the KHL? I mean, that guy was an NHL talent, and they kept him in Rochester because they wanted to keep Zach Bogosian happy. Like, oh my god, like, I could just lose my mind right now. How unbelievably terrible Jason Botterill did as a general manager. Ristolainen to the Oilers for Athanasiou, Russell, and Benson, Tyler Benson. This is actually really interesting because I always thought, like, for a couple years now, that Rasmus Ristolainen for Andreas Athanasiou would kind of be like a very interesting one-for-one. Even when he was back on Detroit, I was kind of thinking that maybe that would be a good trade for both sides. I used to go to a lot of Sabres Red Wings games, and Athanasiou would always kind of stick out with his speed, so I always kind of liked him. Obviously, there are issues with him, just like there are issues with Risto. You'd think that both should be better than they are. So one for one, like, that was always kind of my thing. Like, I wonder if Athanasiou for Ristolainen would ever happen. Especially too with the Oilers, I know that they would want defense. The only issue with this trade in particular is that Chris Russell cap hit, because of, like, you know, you'd have to pay Athanasiou, he's an RFA, and then Russell has a cap hit. So I feel like if we're trading Ristolainen, we definitely can't take on money. That trade is always something I've thought about, Risto for Athanasiou. To Toronto, Rasmus Ristolainen. To Buffalo, the 2020 15th overall pick from Pittsburgh. Why? Because the middle of the first round is not loaded with high-end D prospects, and Toronto desperately needs right-hand defensemen. Well, if you desperately need them, you can definitely have them. I can totally see a scenario, too, where Risto goes to Toronto and just turns his whole career around. I still can't believe, by the way, that Pittsburgh was so willing to give up 15th overall for essentially, like, Kasperi Kapanen. Probably giving up too much from Toronto's end, but If you're offering it, I'll take it. I honestly think the Sabres missed their chance to get anyone solid for Risto. A few seasons ago, everyone thought he was the future and wanted him. Now I think we'll be lucky to get anything more than a draft pick and a prospect, but then again, I'm not a professional. No, I mean, you're right. I mean, back in the day, there was those rumors that before Taylor Hall got traded for Adam Larsson, that the Oilers tried to get Ristolainen, and Tim Murray said no. I mean, Rasmus Ristolainen was viewed as, like, our potential, like, people used to call him Norris Ristolainen because they thought he was going to eventually win, you know, Norris trophies, and he's just so gone downhill and disappointed, and I just wish we would have sold high on him. I wish that the Sabres would have just kind of realized what he was and not overvalued him the way that they have, but they have, and this is kind of why we're in this mess. Like I said, it'll be so hard to trade him now. Because it's just, like, you don't want to lose a body for literally nothing, even if it clears up cap room, but, yeah. Max Domi and 2 seconds for Ristolainen. That sounds great. Remember back when all those Jack Eichel trade rumors were coming out, and that guy from one of the fan-sided sites wrote that the Sabres should trade Jack Eichel for Max Domi in a second? Because I do. I know I'm going to catch a lot of hate for this, but as a Pens fan, I don't want to get rid of Murray. That being said, everyone else does, so here it is. Pens receive Ristolainen and a second in 2021. Sabres receive Matt Murray, Justin Schultz, and Nick Bjugstad. Rip me apart, y'all. From the Penguins' perspective, like, I feel like a name that's kind of been coming up is in rumors is that the Sabres are looking at Jared McCann. So I feel like his name would probably be more interesting for the Sabres. Like I said, like, I don't really know why the Sabres would really want to go after Matt Murray. But yeah, I mean, the Penguins are an interesting name too. They don't really seem interested in wanting to rebuild. They just kind of seem like they're retooling on the fly, so if they want to go after Rasmus Ristolainen, that probably won't help them out too much, but they can if they want to. To Anaheim, Ristolainen in a second in 2020. To Buffalo, Raquel Goodbranson and a first in 2020. Oh my god, yes please. We move up around in the draft and we get a forward? Yeah, yes please. Calgary receives Rasmus Ristolainen, Buffalo receives Lindholm, and a conditional second if Risto resigns with the Flames. If you're offering Ristolainen for Lindholm, like, oh my god, yes please. Like, that would be phenomenal. Even getting rid of the conditional pick, like, there was a game that I went to this year, and I feel like this is a perfect example for people who don't watch a lot of Sabres hockey, so they don't see much of Ristolainen. I went to a game this year, and it was the Sabres against the Flames, and the game ended up going to overtime. I remember, like, they put Rasmus Ristolainen to start overtime, and I looked at my dad, I was like, what are they doing? Why is Ristolainen on the ice right now? That is a horrible, horrible, horrible mistake. And Lindholm ended up scoring the winner in overtime, and, you know, I'm going to take you through exactly what happened. Like, if you want, you could pause this video, and you could go search in YouTube, Elias Lindholm, overtime goal against the Sabres. Just watch what Ristolainen does, and you will understand exactly what it is that frustrates Sabres fans so much about Ristolainen, because it's kind of like, it epitomizes, like, his boneheadedness, and I'll just take you through it. I can't show you the clip because I know YouTube's been cracking down pretty hard on hockey YouTubers using NHL clips, but I'll just kind of break it down for you here. So they enter the zone here, and it's like a casual, like, zone entry, kind of like a 2-on-3, like not even 3-on-2, 2-on-3. The Sabres have everybody back. Ristolainen sees Lindholm here, and he takes Lindholm, so Lindholm's going to be his guy. Lindholm goes behind the net to Linus Ullmark's left. Ristolainen stands in the middle, which, fine. But then, Ristolainen decides he wants to go over. Marcus Johansson's a forward. He's back. He's got, who's that, Tkachuk? Yeah, so he's on Tkachuk. He kind of takes Tkachuk to the boards. So then Tkachuk passes it to a wide-open Lindholm. Now, for some reason, Rasmus Ristolainen decides it's a good idea to go behind the net and almost like double team Tkachuk. Like, I don't know what he's thinking, leaving Lindholm wide open on the other side. And there's no way Ristolainen can come over and get back because he's already behind the net, which, unless you're defending against Andrei Svechnikov, like, behind the net is not a dangerous place to be. So I don't know why he goes back there. And so Lindholm just, yeah, I'll just take it out in front, no one's covering me, and I'll score the game-winning goal in overtime. Like, that's what he does. He just does not have a shred of hockey sense, and that's kind of what's frustrating. Like, yeah, he's big, he's physical, but, I mean, he's boneheaded. Like, he makes stupid decisions that end up costing the team, and, I mean, he shouldn't even have been out there in overtime anyway, and he was out there they scored the goal 1 minute and 15 seconds in. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you're getting with Risto if you're trading for him. He just, ugh. I'm getting myself worked up now. I didn't expect this to be an angry video. Rasmus Ristolainen for Jack Johnson, but the singer Jack Johnson, not the defenseman. That's fine. Banana pancakes is my jam. Risto to the Devils for Pavelzaka, Severson, and our 7th overall pick. I love your videos, by the way. Thank you. I love your trade offer, by the way. Like, that's a ton for Risto. That 7th overall pick would just be way more than anyone would give up. And then to add 2 roster players on top of that, like, whew! New offer from the Kraken. If you give Seattle Ristolainen, they will take Kyle Poso in the expansion draft. That sounds great. Anything to get Kyle Poso off our hands sounds great to me. And Ristolainen. So we're basically giving away 2 players for free, but we're clearing up like over $11 million in cap room. Can do, Seattle. Way to come in clutch. Columbus Blue Jackets trade Riley Nash, Ryan Murray, and Mikhail Grigorenko. Trade explained. When Ryan Murray is at full health capacity, he can definitely stabilize your depth on defense, lining up on your 3rd line, possibly making him a 2D lineman. Riley Nash is right where he's needed on the ice. He's not prone to injury, consistent work ethic, 45% on faceoffs, can score 20 goals a season, if not more, when given a full go-ahead on a proper line. Mikhail Grigorenko can be your 3rd to 4th line bottom pairing player who can shore up your depth on offense. There's a good chance if he's given a chance to play in Buffalo, could offer something to the Sabres for what they've needed for a long time. And Buffalo trades Rasmus Ristolainen. That's great. Like, if you're trading Riley Nash and Ryan Murray alone, that sounds awesome. Like, if we could get a forward that can score 20 goals for us, that... But to add in Mikhail Grigorenko, could you imagine if the Sabres traded Rasmus Ristolainen to get Mikhail Grigorenko back? I could bring this back. It would be awesome. I've been waiting so long for a Sabres player to take number 25. And no one ever did. Now we're moving to Royal Blue, so. But yeah, I mean, I can honestly see Grigorenko kind of coming back and having a good bottom 6 role in the NHL. I mean, when you pick a guy in the 1st round, I think he was like 12th overall, and he doesn't even last like 3 full years in the NHL. Ain't that the Buffalo Sabres way? Oh man, I hope I'm not too late on this one. Again, I know Bruins fans aren't allowed opinions, but hear me out. Okay. I'm glad you guys know, at least. I don't know a ton about Risto aside from that he was playing massive minutes every night before Dahlin came. Maybe still is. Yeah, he still is. Dahlin, I think, is around like 19 minutes, and I think Risto, they cut his minutes, but I still think he's around like 22, 23 minutes, which is ridiculous, but yeah, you're right. From what I've watched, he seems like a solid 2nd pair guy. If I'm Boston, maybe I'm offering a defensive prospect like Urho Vakanainen and a 3rd round pick, or maybe a Jeremy Lauzon type of player and a 2nd. This one's hard because unlike the fake Jack Eichel scenario, I have way less of an idea of what Risto's value actually is. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, like, if we get a prospect and a pick for Risto, like, that would be awesome too. People seem pretty high on Vakanainen. I don't really pay as much attention to prospects as I used to because the Sabres have drained all the love of hockey out of me. But people seem pretty high on Vakanainen. So if we could get like a decent prospect and get rid of Risto's 5-something million cap hit, we do that all day. Leafs get Rasmus Ristolainen, and Sabres get the rights to Cody Ceci, 2021 2nd, and a 2022 conditional 3rd. The condition is if the Leafs win the Cup with Risto on their roster and he plays 50% or more playoff games, and the 3rd becomes a 2nd. So what do you say? Do we have a deal? Can you imagine? Well, if you have Ristolainen on your roster, I don't like your chances of winning the Stanley Cup, so that's a very tough condition there. I don't know why so many Leafs fans want to get rid of Cody Ceci. Like, that's just, how could you want to get rid of him? Ristolainen to Tampa for Eric Cernak, Matthew Joseph, 2021 2nd and 2021 3rd. I mean, I'm still mad at Cernak for giving my boy Dahlin a concussion, so I don't think I could do that. I just want to fight him all the time. People here are really overpaying for Risto, in my opinion. I do like maybe Domi for Risto and a late round pick. Like, even that I still feel like it's overpayment. Like, if you're giving me Max Domi for Risto, I'm gladly taking that all day. Ristolainen to the Maple Leafs for a 2099 first round pick, 2100 first round pick, and $20. 2 first round picks for Risto. That's awesome. I don't care if I have to wait 80 years for it. I'll take that. Be like 105 and just be like, hey, we got our first round pick. Since Ristolainen's closest comparison in the last 3 years is Jack Johnson and Cody Ceci, you can have a 7th round pick. I think he's better, but the Twins over at Evolving Wild are very smart. Yeah, so that's the thing, like all these analytics, people need to shut up about him because we're never going to trade him as long as they keep putting out how bad he is analytically. No, you're right though, like, that's why you always got to pick on the GMs that don't pay attention to analytics. That's the only way you'll be able to get rid of Ristolainen. Wings trade Mantha for Risto in a 2nd. Done! Montreal trades Shea Weber and a 2020 first and Philip Deneau. Buffalo trades Ristolainen, a Poso, and a 7th. Wow, that's a lot of money going both ways. Doesn't Shea Weber have like a contract for the next like 15 years or something? He's making $7.8 million for the next what? 6 years? Holy crap, he's already 35. Oh my god, Montreal. How do you afford that? And then you're also paying Carey Price, who's 33, 10.5 for the same amount of time. That's insane. I didn't even realize, like, that's crazy. But I mean, if you want Risto and a Poso, that's fine with me. To Buffalo, Jonathan Huberdeau. To Florida, Rasmus Ristolainen, Casey Middlestat, and a 2022 second-round pick. That I love. I would love Huberdeau. Like, obviously, I'm more than happy to give up Ristolainen. Casey Middlestat, I'm not totally ready to give up on yet, but I'm also not far away either. Like, to me, he has bust written all over him. He's got, like, all that top 6 skill, but he doesn't seem to have any kind of, like, NHL desire. So that's actually a really interesting trade, though. I feel like it'd be really important for us, like, if we truly don't think that Casey Middlestat will develop into what he should have developed into, it'd be best to learn our lesson from what we've done to Ristolainen and sell high on him. So I wonder if they're going to do that. But again, it kind of goes back to what I already said about the flat cap and the internal $71 million internal salary cap, that we're going to need as many cheap guys as possible. But Buffalo receives a 2020 first-round pick, a 2021 third-round pick, and Samuel Girard. Holy moly. To Colorado for Ristolainen and Carter Hutton. Wow. Oh my god. I love Girard. Isn't it crazy that Colorado has such an incredible roster, and they're only going to still be getting Bowen Byram probably next year. Like, Colorado's going to be such a dynasty over this decade, I feel like. It's going to be crazy. I mean, I would do that trade for just that third-round pick. So, I mean, adding anything else, adding a first and Sam Girard, great young defenseman. Sign me up for that. I'll do that all day long. We can do it. Just don't tell Joe Sakic that we're doing it. Ryan Strome for Risto in a 6th. Done. Sold. You guys saw my NHL 20 series. Ryan Strome was a beast. He simmed incredible for me. So he'd definitely do that in real life. Toronto gets Ristolainen in a 2nd. Buffalo gets Nylander in a 3rd. Addresses both team needs. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see, like, how truly desperate Toronto is for that defenseman that they want. I'm sure there are going to be better options than Ristolainen, but, you know, giving up Nylander would be way too much. Dubas wouldn't do that, but I've never liked either Nylander, by the way, either. Like, I was so mad the day we drafted Alex Nylander, and I've never been a huge fan of William. I mean, if that was the trade, I would take it. Wisconsin-based Rangers fan here. We'll trade Tony D, a 3rd rounder, and I'll personally throw in a lifetime supply of grade A Wisconsin cheese curds. Whew. That's interesting. I've only been to Wisconsin once. I went to Milwaukee for a Brewers game. I tried the cheese curds. They were pretty good. I'd take Tony DeAngelo in a 3rd, though. I mean, I don't even really like Tony DeAngelo that much, but for Ristolainen, I'd do it. Ellie gets Ristolainen. Buffalo gets the Braves back. Oh my god. Yes, please. You guys don't even understand how badly I want basketball back in Buffalo. Basketball would have never worked in Buffalo. It's such a small market, and even if the Braves wouldn't have left in the 70s, it would have never worked. It's gotten way too expensive, and Buffalo's too small of a market. But oh my god, I would kill to have the Braves back. And if it only cost me Rasmus Ristolainen to get it, I'm doing that all day. Whatever you think the Sabres players are worth, I promise it's less. Just like thinking Eichel is worth the team's 2 best players, which that Buffalo writer did in his article, which was semi-satire, but still truly believing he was the top asset in the league. So you're definitely right on the first part. Other than Jack Eichel, any Sabres player that you want, like, you probably are overvaluing him. Especially with a lot of these trades with Ristolainen. But don't even get me started on Jack Eichel, because it's still so crazy to me. The league doesn't understand how good he is. Like, you understand, he went on a 17-game point streak this year with no help. Like, he was the only one on the team, and he went on a 17-game point streak. Like, I'm truly surprised he didn't need back surgery this year after carrying the entire team. Jack Eichel, like, you guys gotta understand, Jack Eichel is a top asset in this league. He's not Connor McDavid, he's not Nathan McKinnon, but he's right there. I mean, he is a top asset in this league, playing on a terrible team in a small market, so he's not getting the same kind of exposure that other guys are getting. But I'm telling you, he's right there. Nah, I'll pass. Good. Calgary Flames trade Sean Monahan, Sam Bennett, and a 3rd-round pick for Ristolainen and a 1st in 2021. Ooh! I would love Sean Monahan and Sam Bennett. I have seen rumors that the Flames are looking to possibly get rid of Monahan or Gaudreau, or maybe both, who knows. But I don't think that's the kind of package they would want for him. As a Sabres fan, that would be an easy yes for me. I'm not worried about that 2021 first, especially for a team that badly needs a second-line center. To Chicago, Rasmus Ristolainen, 2021 3rd, and some good wings, as in food wings, not hockey wings. To Buffalo, Ryan Carpenter, Zach Smith, Drake Kajula, 2022 third, and your choice of Chicago-style deep dish pizza or Chicago-style hot dog. Basically every topping that isn't ketchup. So that's an easy pick for me. I'm going with the deep dish pizza. I went to Chicago once and there was this hot dog stand. Like, let me preface this. Hot dogs are one of my favorite things to eat in the world. I love hot dogs, but I only get ketchup on them. So I went to this hot dog stand and if there was a sign that said, like, you're not allowed to ask for ketchup on your hot dog or something, and I was only a kid, so I didn't know that they were kidding, but also maybe they weren't kidding. Chicago being so anti-ketchup on their hot dog is weird, but yeah, so I definitely choose the deep dish pizza there. Chicago's cap situation doesn't get any better, but we do get a better blue line, and we can work out the cap problems with another team later, or let Crawford walk, or Crawford could just re-sign for a lot less. Meanwhile, Zach Smith and Drake Kajula will actually help out Buffalo's offense, and Ryan Carpenter could have potential if you put under the right system, not Chicago's. You have no idea how hard it was to find a Chicago player that, one, had a contract someone would be willing to take on, two, could actually produce, and three, wasn't Coupe League. That damn Brent Seabrook contract, $6.875 million until the end of 2023-24, is killing us right now. At least Taves and Kane are earning their $10.5 million each. Yeah, so, I mean, the Sabres have bad contracts like that too. Like, Kyle Post of $6 million is killing us. You know, Jeff Skinner at $9 million. I gotta say, like, that is one thing that I really can't stand about the NHL, is that you sign these guys to big contracts that are essentially, they're buyout proof, you're able to trade them. Like, guys can sign these massive contracts and get paid all the money in the world, even if they just start becoming bad at hockey. And I think that is such a huge problem that the NHL is not addressing. In hockey, it's not even worth, like, cutting or buying out a player, because you're stuck with, like, still a massive cap hit with the buyout that goes past what their contract would have been, and that's nuts. So, I mean, if I could fix one thing about the NHL, it would be that. Like, if you have a player that's not living up to their contract, like, you should be able to get rid of them. Like, you shouldn't have them eating up so much of your cap, because that just makes for bad hockey. Like, if you got bad players on your team and you can't even afford to get any more, like, that makes hockey bad. So, ugh, I feel ya on those bad contracts. It's a ridiculous situation. In terms of your trade, yeah, I'll do it. I hate the Buffalo news. Risto has gotten better, and there's no reason why we shouldn't keep him. He's going to gel soon, whether he's on the Sabres or not. If the Sabres should come to the Buffalo News and trade him away, I will be getting his jersey in whatever team he lands. Save Risto from the Buffalo News. I don't think it's just the Buffalo News. I think it's basically all Buffalo media that kind of wants him out. But see, that's the thing I was talking about, though, is that there are a lot of Sabres fans that really do like Ristolainen because of kind of that physical game he plays. Buffalo being a blue-collar kind of city, loves the big physical guys like that. And with your point here, like, he's going to gel soon. When? Seriously, like, we drafted him 7 years ago. Like, basically, he's not going to be getting any better. He is what he is right now. Like, the only way I could see him actually being better than the way he is now is if he goes on a team in a system that better suits him, that plays him less minutes. I mean, I just don't see how he's going to be any better ever on the Sabres. I mean, I can understand why Sabres fans like him. There are things that are likable about him. Like I said earlier about the Lindholm goal, I just don't think he has the hockey sense to be, like, a top defenseman. I think I'm one of the only Sabres fans that actually like Risto. No, you're not. It's weird. It's a very weird situation. As a Sabres fan, I'm not really interested in trading one of our only physical defensemen unless we win that trade. Obviously, it would be for some offensive help. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in a similar boat to that. Like, I don't want, like, a Ryan O'Reilly return, right? Like, where we're trading a guy away and we're getting nothing back. Like if we're gonna trade Risto, you don't want it to be for literally nothing, because he is a body that can eat up minutes. And I do think if he's utilized properly, he can be effective, not for $5.3 million, but, like, maybe with a long off season, he can kind of turn it around, and who knows, maybe he comes back next year and finally figures out what's wrong with his game. Maybe Kruger can kind of elevate his game. But that's something we've been saying for years, and that's just wishful thinking, and I just don't see that ever happening. But again, if you're going to trade him, you got to get something for him, and if you're not going to get something for him, then it's just not worth trading him, which I kind of think is what's going to happen. The Sabres just aren't going to trade him because no one's going to offer anything good for him. To St. Louis, Ristolainen. To Buffalo, Scandella and Dunn. St. Louis frees up some cap space to sign Pietrangelo, and if they do, they won't be able to re-sign Dunn. He's a good defenseman and will benefit in Buffalo. I do a Risto for Dunn. Scandella, I'd never want to see in a Sabres uniform ever again. A funny story, Marco Scandella, I think it was last year or maybe the year before, he cheated on his girlfriend, so his girlfriend took his Game U Sabres jersey and sold it on eBay for like $500. And there was like such a small part of me that just really wanted to buy that jersey for $500. Like, can you imagine owning a Sabres jersey sold by a jaded, bitter girlfriend that got cheated on? Like, that would be my favorite jersey of all time. I couldn't end up doing it. Someone bought it, but I didn't have $500 to just throw around, but I did want it. I hate Marco Scandella. He was one of my all-time least favorite Sabres. To the Canucks, Rasmus Ristolainen. To Buffalo, Tyler Myers. I haven't really followed Tyler Myers' career after he left Buffalo. Huge dude, but he was always so soft to me. So Canucks fans and Jets fans, I guess, too, you're gonna have to tell me how you feel about him, because I'm curious. I want to know. I know he signed a pretty big contract for the Canucks, so I want to know what you guys think of him, because I haven't really followed his career after he left Buffalo. Red Wings fan here. Bring Ristolainen to Detroit, and we'll trade you Filip Zadina and Filip Hronek. Ooh, 2 Philips. I love Zadina. Zadina was always my guy. In the 2018 draft, I had no faith in the Sabres winning the lottery, so I figured we were going to be picking 4th, because that's kind of the stuff that happens. So I was really high on Zadina. I would easily trade Ristolainen for Zadina. The Red Wings definitely would not be doing that, but I would love it if they did. So thank you for watching this video. I love reading through these trade requests and seeing what other teams think, so it was a lot of fun. So thank you to everyone who commented. Make sure to leave me a comment if you think you got any better Rasmus Ristolainen trade offers or any fun trade offers. I love reading them. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you just subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you soon. Go Bills. Bye, guys.